Welcome to the Deep Dive, your essential shortcut for navigating the complexities of modern industry. Today, we're unpacking a really monumental shift in how factories, labs, and logistics centers are starting to operate. We're talking about ABB's big move into robotics-as-a-service, or RO.
Right.
And it's so much more than just a new product. It's a total redefinition of the economics of automation.
It really is.
Takes what used to be this massive, frankly terrifying capital expenditure, sinking millions into fixed machinery, and it turns it into a manageable, flexible, operational cost.
It's the subscription model.
Exactly, for your physical workforce.
And what's so fascinating here, I think, is that this service model might be the single biggest key to really democratizing robotics. So our mission today is to get past the acronym. We want to understand the mechanics of it. How did ABB actually engineer this business model? What services are they bundling in that guarantee uptime? And maybe most importantly, how is RaaS systematically taking down the financial and technical walls that have kept smaller companies out of the automation game for so long?
Right, because the core promise here is flexibility on demand. The idea that a company can get access to a sophisticated robotic workforce, almost instantly. They can improve productivity, deal with labor shortages, all while keeping that initial cash outlay really, really minimal.
Exactly.
Okay, let's unpack this then. We're seeing RaaS surge now, but this concept, it didn't just appear overnight, did it?
No, not at all. It really started gaining steam back in the mid-2010s.
Okay.
And it was a direct response to the fact that the old model, the pure CapEx purchase, was actually choking off demand. Companies wanted automation, but they just couldn't stomach the risk or the upfront price tag.
So it was a business problem, not a technology problem.
Precisely. ABB realized that technical innovation wasn't enough. They needed business model innovation. And a key signal of this, I think, came in 2015 with the launch of Yumi.
Their first cobot.
Their pioneering dual-armed collaborative robot, the cobot. The machine itself was groundbreaking because it was designed to work with people, not locked away in a cage.
Right.
And that was ABB basically saying, we are opening up automation. Fast forward just a few years to 2018, and suddenly the rental and lease model was, it was everywhere.
So all the big players were getting into it.
Every major manufacturer, including ABB. But the real catalyst, the moment when flexibility became like a survival strategy, that was 2020.
The pandemic.
The pandemic hit. Supply chains just seized up, and companies realized they couldn't staff essential functions. And that's when the value of flexible on-demand automation became painfully clear.
And ABB really leaned into that, didn't they? I'm thinking of the 2021 launch of GoFa and SwiftDive.
Yes, exactly. And with those cobot families, it wasn't just about faster machines. Their biggest feature was how simple they were to program.
Made for the first-time user.
Exactly. They were aimed squarely at these high-growth segments like logistics and healthcare that just didn't have teams of dedicated robotics engineers.
So if you connect all those dots, the foundation of RaaS is really this crucial insight that for robotics to go from being the specialized industrial asset to, a mainstream utility, the business model, the leasing, the pay-per-use, that's just as critical as the hardware itself, maybe even more so.
It's the financial democratization of the technology.
Right.
That's what enables the growth.
Which brings us to the core of the service. So if I'm signing a RaaS contract, I'm obviously not just renting a piece of metal.
Right.
What exactly is bundled into this service that justifies that ongoing operational cost?
You're paying for guaranteed high performance and zero complexity. The service is multi-layered. So first, you've got deployment. That covers everything from the initial consultation and solution design. Often they'll simulate the whole process first.
A digital twin.
A digital twin, right.
Wow.
And it goes all the way to on-site installation and full training. It's a true turnkey delivery.
Got it.
Second, you get ongoing support. This means proactive monitoring, quick on-site service, and the flexibility to swap or upgrade your robots as your needs change.
So you never get stuck with outdated tech.
You never own the risk of obsolescence.
And this is where that digital architecture really changes the game, isn't it? We hear about cloud connectivity all the time, but how does ABB's platform, the ABB Ability platform, actually guarantee that uptime?
ABB Ability is basically the digital brain for the entire RaaS fleet.
Yeah.
Every single robot is streaming real-time data to the cloud. Constantly. And this continuous monitoring enables predictive maintenance. So instead of just reacting to a breakdown after it happens,
They see it coming.
they see patterns that suggest a failure hours or even days in advance.
That sounds great on paper, but can we quantify it? I saw they claim up to 25% fewer incidents.
Up to 25% fewer incidents and a 60% faster response time when maintenance is needed.
60%. Okay, how do they verify numbers like that, and how does that translate into, actual dollars saved for a customer?
The verification comes directly from that cloud data. The constant data stream lets ABB audit the health of the robot and prove the performance metrics.
I see.
And the dollar savings are immense. I mean, think about it. 25% fewer incidents means 25% less unexpected downtime on your production line. If your line makes, say, $1,000 an hour,
That adds up very, very quickly.
it becomes a massive, predictable increase in profit. You're essentially paying for performance insurance.
What about for those new customers, like a small e-commerce fulfillment center that's never switched a robot before? That technical learning curve must be pretty steep.
It would be, but ease of use is maybe the most important success factor for them. ABB offers tools like Wizard Easy Programming and Lead-Through Teaching.
And lead through. What's that?
You could literally just grab the robot arm and guide it through the motions you want it to perform.
Wow.
You can program it in minutes. It completely bypasses the need for specialized coding experts. That is critical for SMEs and new sectors like healthcare.
And they're not going it alone on the tech side. I saw the 2024 collaboration with Microsoft Azure.
Yeah, that partnership is huge. It's for enhanced cloud connectivity and, more importantly, AI-driven maintenance. It shows they're constantly investing in external expertise to make sure their analytics are top tier.
So the customer gets the benefit of that constant upgrade cycle without having to do anything.
Without lifting a finger.
We've laid out the digital infrastructure. Let's move to the shop floor. Where are these RaaS solutions creating the most profound impact right now?
The biggest revolution, without a doubt, is in SMEs, small and medium enterprises.
Right.
RaaS lowers that financial entry barrier by an estimated 50 to 60% in upfront cost reduction. Small manufacturers can now rent complete plug-and-play robot cells.
And we have a great story here. The case of Robotics, a tiny German startup.
Great example.
They specialize in electronics refurbishment, only 5 employees, but they were able to lease 3 ABB GOFA cobots, 5 employees, 3 high-tech robots. Walk us through that.
That case is amazing because it shows how RaaS enables this lean, super agile business model.
Okay.
Robotics was able to automate these critical tasks like really precise sorting and component handling that let them achieve same-day turnaround for customers.
Which is a huge competitive advantage.
Massive. If they had to buy those robots outright, their capital expenses would kill the business before it started.
Right.
By leasing, they kept their overhead minimal. And it aligns perfectly with their circular economy model. They refurbish electronics.
And the robots get refurbished too on the leases up?
Exactly. Returned and refurbished. The perfect fit.
Now let's turn to logistics and warehousing. This seems like a perfect fit for an environment that has to flex so rapidly.
It is. This is where we see ABB's FlexLease systems and their AMRs in action.
AMRs being autonomous mobile robots, the ones that drive themselves around.
That's them. And scalability is everything in logistics. RaaS lets warehouse operators scale their robot fleet seasonally.
Like for the holiday rush.
Exactly. Think about Q4. You can lease, say, 50 additional AMRs just for those crazy months and then send them back in January.
So you're not paying for assets that are just sitting idle for most of the year.
You avoid sinking massive investment into idle assets, and the market gets it. RaaS in logistics robotics grew, 42% in 2024 alone.
Wow. Okay, and finally, a sector where speed can literally save lives. Healthcare and laboratories. It seems a bit counterintuitive to automate such specialized work, but...
You'd think so, but in labs you're dealing with incredibly repetitive, high-volume, but still critical tasks.
Like specimen processing, dispensing.
Specimen processing, pharmacy dispensing, running complex assays. I mean, consider the example of the ABB robot in a Texas medical lab.
Right, the antibody testing.
Yes. By automating that highly precise and time-consuming process of handling samples, they dramatically increased their daily antibody tests from just 15
15 a day.
to an astounding 1,000.
Wow, from 15 to 1,000.
And that massive jump in throughput for a critical public health function was only possible because RaaS allowed the hospital to deploy complex automation quickly and reliably. They didn't have to go and build an internal robotics maintenance department from scratch.
That level of trust, it has to come from a managed process. You can't just drop a $100,000 piece of equipment on their doorstep and say, good luck.
Absolutely not.
So how does ABB manage that complexity? Walk us through the structured process that makes a customer feel like this is a low-risk move.
It starts long before a robot even arrives. The first phase is a comprehensive consultation and ROI analysis.
Okay.
And this includes using tools like Robot Studio to simulate the proposed automation cell in a virtual environment.
So you see it work before you buy it.
You create that digital twin of your operation. It lets the customer guarantee the return on investment and solve any technical problems before a single piece of hardware is even deployed.
And only then do you move to a pilot.
Only after that design is validated does it move to a small pilot deployment, a proof of concept. And then that's followed by the full-scale integration and, of course, that all-important ongoing proactive support.
It sounds comprehensive, but RaaS is still a relatively new model. I'm sure customers have, well, strategic anxieties.
They do.
What are the key challenges that ABB has to address to get that long-term buy-in?
There are three main ones. The first is what I'd call financial fear.
The worry that the subscription costs will just keep adding up.
And eventually exceed the cost of buying it outright. Exactly.
So how do they mitigate that?
They focus on value-driven RaaS options. Things like pay-as-you-go pricing or even performance-based contracts where the fee is directly tied to the output or the value the robot delivers.
So ABB's success is tied to the customer's success.
It aligns their incentives perfectly. It makes the economics totally transparent.
Okay, the second challenge is always the most sensitive one: workforce acceptance. The fear of job displacement is very real.
It is. And that's handled through dedicated training partnerships. RaaS is positioned as augmenting the existing workforce, not replacing it.
Right. The dull, dirty, and dangerous tasks.
They emphasize the collaborative nature of the cobots and reinforce that idea that robots are assistants for the dull, dirty, and dangerous stuff, which frees up human workers for higher value, more cognitive roles.
And the third major challenge is technology obsolescence.
Getting stuck paying a subscription for a machine that's out of date.
Right. And this is where the business model is actually quite brilliant.
How so?
RaaS flips that financial risk back onto the manufacturer, onto ABB. Because customers can return the robots after use, ABB is now incentivized to maximize the lifespan of that asset.
So they refurbish it and redeploy it somewhere else.
Exactly. Their profit model shifts from a single high-margin sale to a continuous revenue stream over multiple leases. ABB maximizes asset utility, reduces its own depreciation risk.
And the customer always has access to the newest technology just by upgrading their subscription.
It's a win-win for asset management.
And looking forward, this whole commitment to the RaaS model was, fundamentally validated by one of the biggest news stories in the sector. The 2025 agreement for SoftBank Group to acquire ABB's robotics division. That's a massive vote of confidence, right?
It's more than that. It's an inflection point. SoftBank specifically stated their intention is to accelerate the fusion of AI and RaaS. They call it physical AI.
Physical AI.
And they have a commitment to delivering subscription robots, think per hour usage. This acquisition isn't about traditional manufacturing. It's about a massive strategic acceleration of the service model. It proves RaaS isn't some sideline option. It's the future core of robotics deployment. So we've seen how ABB is transforming robotics from a CapEx liability into this flexible OpEx service. It's enabling agility and growth everywhere, from a 5-person startup to a major medical lab.
And the market is projected to just soar, past $30 billion by the early 2030s. This growth is going to be driven by more and more sophisticated AI integration.
You mean things like generative AI?
Things like generative AI tools that could let a human user program a really complex robot task just by describing the goal in plain language.
So if the future of manufacturing and logistics involves renting your robotic workforce on a clear, performance-based contract, what does it mean for industrial competition when speed, efficiency, and uptime become a utility that anyone can tap into rather than a fixed asset that's only available to the ultra-rich industry giant?
That's the question.
That's the competitive question that RaaS leaves you with.
Thank you for listening to today's episode of our Digital Servitization Exchange podcast. We hope the insights sparked new ideas, challenged assumptions, and brought clarity to the evolving world of service and digital-driven business models. This podcast is grounded in extensive research across various fields. drawing on years of academic work, case studies, and cutting-edge publications. It also shaped by hands-on experience of our collaboration partners, whose real-world challenges and successes help us to translate theory into practice. If you enjoyed the episode, consider following the podcast and sharing it with colleagues who are navigating the civilization journey. Your support helps us continuing bridging high-quality research-based and practice-proven perspectives straight to your ears. Thank you for tuning in, and see you in the next episode.